My name's Hannah, and I'm a Go Girl.
So I got involved with Go Girls. I had this feeling that I needed to head west, and I didn't know why, and I didn't know what it meant. And I was living in Colorado at the time, and I just started kind of perusing what was out there in California. And the one that really caught my eye was on Idealist, this posting about Go Girls Camp. And I read the mission statement, and I looked up the website, and I was like, this place can't really exist. This looks too incredible. So I applied, and then Allison called me back, and I was still in Colorado at the time, and she did a Skype interview with me, and just a camp focusing on like social emotional skills for girls, I think is just so important in our society, because I feel like so often girls are rewarded for their appearance. Like, you see it all the time, you see someone see a little girl, oh, you look so pretty in that dress, or oh, you're such a pretty girl, your hair is so pretty. But with boys, it's like, what did you do this weekend? Oh, you played baseball, cool. Like, how many hits have you gotten? And I think it's so cool that this camp focuses on what girls can do instead of what they look like or anything like that. And it's so powerful. And after I went through the training and all of that stuff, I just kept thinking, wow, I wish that this camp had existed for me when I was that age. I feel like it would have erased years of suffering. And it's so amazing to be part of a community that's just so passionate about girls and the next generation of raising strong, powerful women who are, seen as being wonderful by what they do. And I think that's so incredibly important. Mm-hmm. So for one of the sessions that I did last year, one of the stories that really stuck out in my brain, one of those great memories that I'll always have, is one of the girls, the theme was flower power. And the girls were creating their own characters and trying out different things. And one girl, she wanted to be Disco Kitty. And Disco Kitty was so awesome. She wore like all rainbow stuff, and she had like big rainbow ears, and she just like did like the hustle and danced everywhere she went. And we incorporated some Earth, Wind, and Fire songs. And so like every time she had an entrance or an exit, like the disco would play. And she just loved disco and was so into it. I love disco. And so we really bonded through that. And she was just so willing to take risks and just be silly and have fun. And it was a huge hit at the show. So many of the parents and people in the audience were just like, Disco Kitty! And Disco Kitty still inspires me to this day, for sure. So at Go Girls, I think one of the huge strengths of the program is that there's a really strong structure in place. Not only is it really good for staff, but it's also really good for the girls. I had a great acting teacher in college that used to say, structure will set you free. And that was so apparent throughout this program. Like, in the morning, we would all come together as a big group. We have our morning circle where we talk about what we're going to do that day. And the first week of Go Girls is all about the creative process. It's all about figuring out where the play is going to be, who the characters are, what the conflict could be. And we figure all that out through play and creativity. And then at the same time that they're taking, that we usually split the girls into two groups based on age. And so when one group is taking art class, the other group is taking drama class. And so they're getting to learn all these different art skills and creative, expressive arts throughout the first week. And then we started actually like put the play together using art and drama the second week. And another great thing is that the girls have time to be able to just play and be girls and play out on the playground and get to know each other and have snacks and lunch together. And so we'll have, an hour class and then a break and then a class and then lunch. And so, and then another class and another break. So it's never It's never like straight through, go, 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 you have to get this done. It's all so playful, and the day goes by so incredibly fast. And at the end of the day, we all come back together as a big group. And that was one of my favorite parts, is when we come into our circle, we celebrate each other. And I think it's so important for us to celebrate not only each other, but ourselves. And it gives the girls a way of thinking to say, like, what was awesome that happened today? Because I feel like as a culture, we have a tendency to be like, oh, this happened today, that was so bad, or this happened at work. But it gets us all thinking, what was really positive about today? How did I grow? How did my peers grow around me? And shouting them out and showing them some love, and starting literally with the phrase, I celebrate so-and-so because blank. And I mean, what better way to end a day than that? There have definitely been a few girls and women in my life who have been Go Girls, and who have, before I even knew about Go Girls, that have definitely inspired me. And the first two that popped in my head are my two sisters. And my oldest sister, we're very far apart in age. She's 16 years older than me. So when I was younger, especially, she used to be more of like a mother figure to me. But now that I've gotten older, we have a really, really strong sister bond. And she is just the most incredible mother. She is just so supportive of her kids. And, you know, she's a mama bear, will protect them through anything, but she gives them just the freedom to be themselves. And they all have, she has 6 kids, and they all have their own personalities and have different interests, and she just accepts them exactly as they are and supports them in anything they desire. And, seeing her be that way with her kids has inspired me to be loving to everyone. And my other sister is just so courageous. And we grew up in small town Texas, and she knew that she was gay when she was probably about 12. And she was just always so fearless with just being exactly who she was, and had no apologies for who she was. And in an area and in a time where she was completely excluded and unaccepted. And she never lost her confidence, and she never lost her sense of self. And her self-love really inspired me to be who I am today. And now, I will always lend a compassionate hand to people who are suffering injustice because they're a little different, and that's truly because of her. So as a teaching artist, I feel like it's so important to, Go Girls is so perfect for this, because I love acting and I love theater, but the skills that are taught with theater are so much more important to me than the actual performance or the show. And the fact that these girls can come in, and a lot of them have never had any sort of theater experience or acting experience, and some of them, the thought of being on stage terrifies them. And the fact that Go Girls is made to build such a safe space and explore through play and to make mistakes and take risks, that it enforces those attributes in myself. Not only does it force it for the girls, but for every time I can be there and empower a young girl and say, you can do this, and to see them go from being so scared that they can barely speak on stage during rehearsal to a point where they don't want to leave the stage after their lines during the performance, that enforces so much in me to say, look at these girls who can take risks and say yes and just jump off the mountain and be fearless. That helps me not only in my art as an actress, but also as a person. And so it reinforces me not only as a teaching artist, but as a human being as well.